Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here, and welcome to another episode of Newbie Tuesday for Dawn of War 2 Retribution. With me today, all the way from the Project Learn to Play organization, I have with me Mr. OlBloodNGuts. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good, Harl. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and man, people really like Newbie Tuesday replays. It's very refreshing because I think there are a lot of players who don't hang out on the forums very much, but who just want to see what normal games look like and learn. Because I think a lot of times, like beginning players have a hard time because they try and emulate the strategies that they see the top players out there play. Like they'll see Keltos and Aki and Choco Bambus, and they try to do those strats, and it doesn't work because they just don't have their fundamentals. And so yeah, number one most requested game out there is Newbie Tuesdays. So Project Learn to Play. So it's projectl2p.com is the website, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and you guys just pretty much focus on helping people get past the learning curve and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we're here to help. I mean, our forum is up, our Steam group is up, our Steam chat is there for you. We just want people to ask questions, get together, play games and practice, post replays, just to allow us in a nice, friendly manner to tell you what you're doing wrong, what you could be doing right, and hopefully help you on your way up to the top of the ladder.
Yeah, I love it. So definitely, guys, if you enjoyed these Newbie Tuesday series, please stop by projectlearntoplay.com. I will have that link in the description of this video as well. Anyhow, let me go ahead and zoom out here and take a look at the players that we have today. And this was actually a Project Learn to Play game. I think you didn't know about it, and I didn't know about it because there are so many Project Learn to Play games going on. But this is one of them today. So we have, looks like Mr. Ninjaman 95, who was pretty good here. He has like a 1500 rating here, and I think the guy under the gun today was Azimaith, who was playing as the Lictor Alpha up north here today. So I think that it sounds to me like it looked like some of the comments were kind of like focusing on Azimaith here. So this was kind of like his little lesson today, I think.
Yep.
So
yeah, very possible. They do host these games in public, so sometimes someone from the Learn to Play chat joins, and then they let in just a random pub join. That might be Azimaith's. That might be his origin, so to speak. So
gotcha.
That might be why they weren't that focused on him.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. So I'll count down, and I'll just do 3, 2, 1, click, and we can start then. So 3, 2, 1, click. And the Lictor Alpha is off. I'm just going to take a look at his little iridescent green and blue paint job there. Yeah, so he's already going into the double Hormigaunt broods there. So again, that it seems like either double Hormigants or double Termagants is kind of the opening for most Tyranid players there. Any reason in particular why he'd want double Hormigants versus Orc in general?
Not really Orc in general. Normally Orcs do go for a double Shuda build, and Hormigants do hard counter them pretty much until the biggest Shudas come out to suppress them. Also, the Lictor has a pretty nifty war gear called Pheromones that allows Hormigants to reinforce around him, so they become a pretty scary melee blob. So they can end up out DPSing Sluggers and Storm Boys, so long as they micro carefully.
Yeah, especially with those adrenal gland upgrades. So this, I think when I was first watching this was the first time where like a little alarm bell went off, which is that I didn't see a third unit coming out for Azimaith there. Nice looking flesh hooks down south though.
Absolutely. Yeah, flesh hooks is a good ability to use early on, especially against these low HP units, since you can pretty much just snag a model, instant kill, and walk away. Just keep causing, requisition bleed on your opponent, which is always good.
And so, yeah, so it looked like he skipped a third unit completely and went for a full power farm up there. And that struck me as really odd. Do you see that often, or is he just definitely trying to sneak by with a fast tech here?
You don't see it that often. It's common enough. It does happen. Sometimes you want to fast tech to a T1.5 unit. I haven't seen it done that much as NIDS. I've seen it done as Imperial Guard going for a quick Catachin, or even as Orcs going for a quick Storm Boy. So here I would expect a quick Warrior or at least a quick Ravener. But the Warrior on its own, I'm expecting probably the Barb Strangler, since Warriors by themselves only offer basic Synapse, 20% damage reduction, a little bit of health, your Hormigants. Doesn't do a whole lot, it's noticeable, but it's not going to change the game.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely interesting here. So looks like he's kind of blobbing up his troops there. I guess, on the one hand, it's good to have double Hormigants together because they can bump into a scouting squad. But on the other hand, it seems like he's kind of slowing down his capture rate by kind of moving them all as one big mass instead of kind of splitting up all over the map.
Yeah, absolutely. After every engagement, he should be splitting them up one to a point. Especially with the adrenal glands upgrade, they get a little bit of extra speed, a little bit of obstacle leap, so they can cap most of the map in record time.
Putting some nice looking pressure on on our war boss there with his pirate hat today, but man, just all of the shooters and sluggers are just going to scare away that entire blob.
That's right. Yeah, right now we have the natural requisition expansion for the NID side is uncapped on both sides by the VP on the right, as well as up in the northern requisition, so that's going to hurt him in the long run. He definitely missed out on some serious capping opportunities.
Yeah, I kind of, oh, sorry. Yeah, continue.
I was just saying, meanwhile, the Orc is doing exactly as we suggested the NID do. You see, he has his Sluggas, his Shootas, his other Shoota, each one capping their own points, so using that downtime after the retreat to just take over the map.
Yeah, that's one of like the best habits I see of really good players is that they know upon winning any sort of minor victory, instantly spread out, cap stuff, recap stuff, whatever you got to do. But just always be capping. ABCs, always be capping.
Absolutely.
So again, we see it looks like azimaith is just kind of charging into the center. Again, he has a really low priority, but you see this combo now, exactly like you said. He's got the warrior brood with the barbed stranglers and the double Harmagons coming into battle right now.
Yeah, it looks like ninjaman's not giving him the chance to use it.
Yeah.
Just getting the heck out of dodge.
Yeah, he saw that one coming. Like, that was kind of telegraphed. He saw, okay, we've got the the warrior brood gonna get suppressed, gonna get jumped on by a bunch of Harmagons. So obviously that's the gimmick here of this army. He wants to suppress big blobs of troops and then shred them up with adrenal Harmagons here. But yeah, he's definitely losing the macro battle there right now. Over on the right, we can see the war boss is capping. Those 2 points that you just pointed out are now or about to be under Orc control, including the one in front of his own base.
Yeah, really liking that ninja cap. That's very good work on Ninja Man's side.
Yeah, even just something I failed to point out a lot early on was even just decapping forces him to recap, and then it gets rid of the maturity bonus on it as well, so it resets back to 10. So really hard up on requisition right now. Even though you can see he has a good amount of power, he's going to be hurting for that later on.
Yeah, having watched this, there's one little criticism I have for Ninja Man is that he didn't power harass enough. He did send his Sluggers alone here, which is good, but as it drags on, I want to see if he keeps that pressure on, because he's not, even with the requisition, a requisition advantage, he's not going to do much if he can't hurt the power as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think he definitely had a tempo advantage a lot during this game. Like, he was like on, he was making the first move. Oh, and we see the Ludas here. The choice of Ludas right now coming out. Certainly in this situation, this is exactly what I would expect in terms of like its effectiveness at retreating. But you brought out a good point to me earlier about the Liquor Alpha just kind of countering Ludas.
Yeah, the Liquor Alpha is just a suppression counter in and of himself. He could either just infiltrate, walk around, and smack him in the face, or he can flesh hook the main gunner model and tie it in melee with the rest and force it to, unset up, go into melee, just pretty much mess up all its plans. And also with the warrior's the tech, so on their own they're pretty much countering the infiltrated Ludas.
Gotcha. And it's so on paper at least, azimaith should be on top of that, but it looks like he's just kind of having trouble. I think he is just falling into, in StarCraft you would call this 1A syndrome, where everybody is just in one big hotkey, and you're just kind of attacking, moving them all around, and they're moving as one big blob. Which is honestly, in high-level Tyranid games, I see that a lot, and it's very effective, but at the base of it, he's still running around capping everything, and as you can see by the color on the map, he owns his generator, and that's it. He didn't even stop to cap the requisition points in front of his base.
Yeah, the thing is, even in high-level Tyranid play, you would attack move just to get them going to that one direction, and en route, you would then start cycling through your control groups, give a target for this Hormagon, give a target for that one, and just keep everything on something else.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately here, again, he's putting a lot of emphasis on this one power node, taking a lot of damage, allowing himself to get suppressed. We finally see that Barbed Strangler trying to get involved, but really not doing a lot. Hormagons are going to get involved, but as you can see, it looks like Ninja Man is just not going to fall for that and just going to back away, having inflicted some pretty good damage there.